Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. There's a lot of you in the chat already, and of course, I'm joined by the lovely ladies. Now, I'm going to introduce Lena first, who's literally down under. Yeah, and
Yeah, I feel like I'm wearing a brown paper bag compared with Lady G, who always looks so sensational.
indeed, and we have another chanteuse here. And rocking an absolutely incredible wig. So of course we've got Lady G with us in the house. So wonderful as always to be with you, ladies. Folks, we have an action-packed show today. We're going to try and get through 8 factors. We're not going to rush, but we're going to try and get through 8 factors. And I'm going to give you a little sprinkle of things. The ladies don't know what's in the pipeline, but today's show is going to mainly focus a bit on France and the US and the UK. Yeah, because oh my God, we've got some of our own stuff going on. Before we proceed, if you'd like to support the show and if you enjoy the content, then please don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell notification. And of course, same for the ladies as well. Their channels are in the description below. So if you'd like to support their channels as well, then please feel free to do so. Right, ladies, are we ready to begin?
Yeah, let's go.
Right, so first stop on our esoteric aeroplane is France. Yeah. I think we need to talk about France. So just to give a little context, just in case people may or may not be familiar, recently France or President Macron has changed the retirement age in France. Now, of course, there are many things that the French value, but apart from wine and cheese and good food, the other one is the retirement age.
Yeah, which is really huge.
This is one of the sacred cows that has literally basically had its throat slit by Macron, and it's all bloody steak and chuck, and mincemeat everywhere. So what is this? There's been huge riots in Paris, which many of you will see, but in Bordeaux they set the town hall on fire. As you know, we're also in eclipse season. The eclipse seasons are about to happen in sidereal Aries. Aries is all about what? Conflict, fire, things moving forward. What the big beef is that Macron made an executive decision. It wasn't actually democratic. He didn't actually put it through the normal process. He literally used a technicality and got it through. So this has been a huge thing. So let's see. So someone was asking, Lisa Rivas was also asking this question. So I'm asking, what's the future of Macron's presidency?
Oh, yeah.
And kind of, will the retirement return to 62? I think it's unlikely, but let's look at what's the future of Macron's presidency.
Let's have a look. Now, France is not alone. Australia has put up the age of retirement.
As well?
Yeah. And that was done under the Conservatives. But Labor, oh, by the way, we had a Labor win last night. Now, New South Wales, where Sydney is, very important state, engine room of the country, went Labor, meaning went Democrat last night.
Wow.
They kicked out the right-wing Catholic who has 7 children under 5 or something, and that's good. But yeah, Australia has put up the retirement age, and Labor was responsible for part of that too. So
yeah, what it's, I think retirement age is one of these things that always defies gravity. Once it goes up, it never comes down. Yeah,
that's right.
Future of Macron.
Future of Macron.
And there's, I know I keep suggesting it, and again for entertainment purposes only, but there's going to be more that's going to come out about Macron over time, particularly in regards to his private life. Yeah, let's just
okay.
I've seen his chart. I have seen his chart. And
And I think he's had 2 terms and you can't have 3 in France.
True.
Can someone in the chat let us know if that's the case, that you can't go for a 3rd term in France? Is that right or not?
And if that is the case, that's probably why he's done what he's done. Because if this is, I think it is his last. I think it is only 2. And then you can drop back out again and then try and come back, which I think what's his face did. Wasn't it Sarkozy? Did Sarkozy try something similar?
Oh, yeah. I've forgotten about him.
Is he still under house arrest? Or I don't know. Oh.
Yeah, I've lost track.
Very interesting. Okay, who's ready to go first? I need to pull 2 clarifiers.
I could go.
Go for it.
Lady G.
Okay. Well, going into it, it's going to be a struggle for him, for his long-term path. He's got short-term success, but overall, again, he's going to go into a difficult time. The light being shed on this, there you have it, is they're looking at ending. And that's something new that's coming up for him because of this decision that he's made arbitrarily. The center of it is about, again, putting him into retirement and also the retirement age. They're looking at more deeply at that, having conversations about it. And so the challenge for him is ongoing, holding on to his position in government. Because he's under the dark light of the moon now, and this is something that people are struggling with. And the clarification is this has brought out a lot of emotions for people, and they're arguing amongst the community. Okay, so not looking good for him. They, this is kind of the nail in his coffin, so to speak.
Very interesting. Lena, what do you have for us?
Well, the impetus of the sun here, you got the sun too, I think, Lady G. Beaming out here. People are not happy about this, having to keep going. This is, although it's the big thing, because millions are protesting. Millions. They know how to do a protest. You've got to hand it to the French. This is one of many things coming at him. Now, there's the victory card. And I thought, maybe he'll pull it off. So I drew a clarifier from my oracle deck and got the people celebrating.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a victory for the people.
Yes.
Fascinating. And thanks to everyone contributing in the comments. It's really kind of ripping through.
Yeah, it really helps.
Oh, indeed.
But
and I just want to
go on.
No, go on.
France also has a history of putting things in and then protests and then taking them away again. So it's not a done deal yet.
Ah, I see. I just wanted to give a little quick shout out to Existence and Espresso's chat group. So just so you know, folks, earlier on today, I was in this little salon, this intellectual salon where these very bright, clever people interested in all sorts of different things. We all got together. We had a big chin wag about the world, and I had some fascinating conversations. So I'll be back in 2 weeks, and I just wanted to give them a shout out because it was fabulous.
Yeah, can you put that up somewhere, Hogarth?
Yeah, sure. It was on a meetup. These meetup occasions. All right, Macron. What do I have? So look straight here. As you know, look, page of cups. We all know I call what stinky fish. Yeah. So this is literally Macron with his stinky fish message to the French people. They were like, let's go through the process. Let's debate this. They were interviewing some people in the street. And I always say this, when you get middle-class housewives who are there with their buggies and their kids, and she's like, I am protesting because, blah, 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 then you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
You're in trouble. Yeah. So here he is with his message that nobody's liked. And also as well, they said he also made a TV address to kind of justify his moves, apparently. And that poured gasoline on the fire. So it's not gone down well. So, of course, here he is, 7 of Wands, defending his position. Yeah, defending his position, trying to justify it. And when someone literally takes an executive decision and they circumnavigate their own government, then we really are in, dodgy places. But look in the middle, we've got the 9 of Swords. So of course this has become an absolute headache for him. Sleepless nights, and of course worry about what he's unleashed, as if the French need any encouragement when it comes to I mean it's almost like every other citizen has got a Molotov cocktail underneath their pillow to be hurled at some building at a moment's notice. And I don't want to trivialize that too much, but the French know how to protest. So here he is. Look, he's trying to redeem himself, rejuvenate himself in some way, but to whom? To whom? I really do wonder sometimes about Macron's motivations. I don't want to get too, down a track on it, but I've seen his chart and one has to wonder about if he truly loves the country. Or could this be France wanting to bounce back? Now, the outcome card here was the Queen of Wands. So I thought, let me pull some clarifiers here, because I want to try and see which queen this is. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So here, this is the 9 of Pentacles. Now, of course, it looks very different from the usual thing, but the 9 of Pentacles is normally what? The wealth card, hostess with the mostess. So we're looking kind of post-Macron. There could be very kind of lucrative sort of like deals, speaking engagements and stuff like that. But look, the Queen of Wands comes back again. So for me, like, this energy is doubled up. So this deals with passion, communication, gathering people and things together. And then the final outcome here is the Emperor. So for me, in a way, irrespective of what happens with Macron's future, I think he very much sees himself as, the Emperor, and he will always be ever thus. And I don't think he's going to deviate from what he's done. Maybe it will go back to 62, but I'll be surprised. Anything you'd like to add to that, ladies?
Well, just generally too, it shouldn't be about if you don't want to retire, you shouldn't have to be cut off at the knees. But for many people, particularly blue collar workers, if you've been getting up at 4 a.m. for 45 or even 50 years and using your body for work, you should be able to retire and be comfortable. In other words, there should be some element of choice.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay, and thank you, Hawaii Bound, for your donation. Okay, let's get on to the next question. Now we're getting back in our esoteric airplane, and we're going to the United States. Now this is a good one, actually. So this question's come in from Light Vocation 21. Light Vocation. She says, "Hello, Hogarth, Lady G, and Lena. Would you please have another look at the SCOTUS ruling, or the SCOTUS ruling on Moore versus Harper?" It's gone a bit quiet in the news, hasn't it, about those charlatan. Well, anyway, never mind. Those that are there. That's the case that would allow state electors to choose presidential candidates instead of the people. And SCOTUS heard the opening for this case in December of 2022, and they've not ruled yet. So let's pull some cards on that.
It's a very big thing. And I remember mentioning it in a couple of videos when it was happening. And then, haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
It's very big.
Yeah,
and
which
again,
is
a big chunk of democracy, shoot, out the window.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of slightly worried now that I'm reminded of the question that we've not heard anything. It's kind of almost maybe something subterranean going on, and they're just going to pull something at the last minute. Let's see. Okay, SCOTUS, Moore versus Moore versus.
Ooh.
Oh, you got some juicy stuff there, Lady G.
At out of 5 cards, I have 4 major arcana.
Oh,
wow.
gosh. Yeah, that's a biggie.
Yeah, I'd say it's a little major.
I mean, that's pretty epic, isn't it? 4 out of 5 major arcana.
Yeah.
What we get? See if we get.
Yeah, I've got 2 major arcana.
Who's ready to go first?
I can go if you like.
Go for it.
My first card was 9 of Swords, sleepless nights and anxiety. But whose sleepless nights? I don't get the impression Clarence Thomas stays awake at night worrying about anything. So I think people should possibly be more worried about this than they are. Even, there's that energy around it. Now, strategizing, this is the states, and no prize for guessing which states would be pushing this. Strategizing and trying to manipulate and pressure SCOTUS into changing this fundamental bedrock of democracy. And then I get the Death card and the Fool. I suspect they might rule that it could go ahead and it's new. It'll be a new thing. I'm not entirely convinced because there isn't the time in this format to really explore every tributary, but there we go.
Okay, Lady G, what do you have?
Well, the center of it, we have the long.
Sorry, I'll deal with the dog.
Sure.
The dark clouds about it, and something new that they're doing, which is this plan with SCOTUS. Of course, this is all at the uber right is fueling this, because going into it, we have what? The narcissist. We have the ones like 45, the darker conversations about long-term path, trying to put that in place. So now we have the tower moment with things. And a lot of fireworks are happening when it comes to wisdom. They really don't like anything being awakened. We want them dumb and stupid and asleep. So the challenge is about rulership, the White House. And so they are trying to use their positions to change the way it is. When it comes to magician being able to, they're trying to railroad it because they are on this path of the uber right, the white nationalist Christians and etc. So they want to put an end to things and make this change, make these changes. It's horrible.
Oh God, it's just so. Like I said, it's so Rosemary's Baby for me. It's Rosemary's Baby on Holland Drive meets the Twilight Zone. We're in such strange times that justices can be even acting like this. And I need to pull a clarifier.
Yeah, so we really need to get more democratic type of people in SCOTUS.
Yeah, it's urgent, but of course it can't be done quickly.
Yeah, no.
Exactly. Yeah, and my cards, out of 5 cards, I've got 2 major arcana as well. So we've all got major arcana in our deck.
Yeah.
So we know that this is something of potency and significance. All right, the card that I get first. If we look here we are, 4 of Pentacles. Now we know Pentacles don't just refer to money, they can also refer to values and stuff like that. Sometimes this can mean scrummaging for money down the back of the sofa, but really when we look at this is about talking about what? Conservatism. I think this is really talking about the nature of SCOTUS, this sense of trying to cleave and hold on to these kind of really rather outdated modes of thinking. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. But look what comes in the obstacle position. We've got the Lovers. And the Lovers is about what? Making decisions. Yeah, it's all about making decisions, but it also deals with partnerships as well. In the broader sense, you can even talk about things like trade, goods, services, and business. But really, this is about partnerships and stuff like that. But partnerships with whom? As you were saying before, I think this is more of this partnership with the conservative right. Yeah, because we all know, really, they're so far to the right. They're basically ultraviolet. Yeah, they're literally ultraviolet. If we look here in the middle of the reading, we've got the 5 of Cups. So of course, this is, you know, disenchantment, bereavement, loss. But again, for who? Yeah, could this be?
That's exactly what I had in the center too, because of the losses.
Yeah. Because of the losses. So it's kind of ominous again. 17 time zones, folks, and yet the cards they speak the same. Next card that comes out, now this could also be to do with money as well, obliquely, but here we are. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. However, sometimes the Knight of Pentacles can be interpreted as the mercenary. Yeah, so it's kind of, when we think of the whole situation of SCOTUS and how they got there, those conservative, they're almost like mercenaries, aren't they, that have been planted in there.
Their votes can be bought.
Yeah, yeah, literally, because if we look here, that is still 2 pentacles, which is talking about money. Yeah, there is that.
Holding on to that long-term thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then
I've got a
a bit of Deliveroo going. Oh, do you have a pizza coming? Well, give me a slice. Or maybe it's another fabulous costume, Lena. That's
yes.
I think she probably got something delivered to her from some exotic part of the world, and the wigs will just get ever grander. He Ramesses. Yes. But look, I get for the outcome card, look at this, Lena, the moon. Now, as I've heard you so often say, and it is absolutely true, there are nearly infinite vicissitudes of meaning for this card. But the fact it's come out as the outcome card in of itself is quite ominous. So it's showing there's this brooding, something bubbling, something that is not clear, machinations, emotional disturbance, perhaps in some kind of way. But I had to pull a clarifying look. I got the 3 of Swords. So I'm quite worried, about the way that they will rule. All of our cards are kind of pointing in a similar direction. Anything else you want to add to that, ladies?
In the comments, Barb's Wheel of Fortune says, in Canada, we have a neutral body called Elections Canada that runs a fair federal election. Why doesn't the USA try that? And exactly, in Australia, we have the Federal Electoral Commission. So the states don't have much wriggle room. You have to guarantee the people of Australia and Canada that it's going to be a standard format, whereas America is 50 little countries.
Yeah. And someone's added here in the comments, and I'll just put that up because we're not pulling at the moment. There is room for 13 SCOTUS to fill 13 districts. Some SCOTUS are doubled up on serving more than one district. If anyone can also validate that as well. I mean, I don't know enough about the subject, but I don't know. It's so frustrating. Okay, let's move on to the next subject. So this is just a quick update, no cards on this, but just to let everyone know. Do you remember when we were reading on Nigeria? Does anyone remember that, the Nigerian elections? Well, there's an update. So some Nigerian citizens have taken to social media to tear up their passports in protest at what is widely considered a rigged election. Isn't that sad? Yeah, literally, they're going on social media and they are, I'm done with Nigeria. It's a failed state.
Wow.
So We'll have to see, but there's lots of protests there. Okay, now we're getting back in our esoteric aeroplane again, and this time we're coming to Blighty, yeah? Which means the UK, yeah? Now this is an unusual one, yeah? This is an unusual one. It's a bit strange. So let's see now. I'm calling this Saturn's shadow. Why? Now, as you know, I've been saying Saturn has moved into sidereal Aquarius on the 17th of January, 2023. Saturn represents governments of all kinds, distribution systems, rules, regulations, even tech and all of this kind of stuff. So here, so the UK has got this mobile phone emergency alert thing happening on the 23rd of April, yeah, this year. Now, this apparently these alarms are for tsunamis, yeah, because of course we have lots of tsunamis in the UK, and earthquakes because we've got plenty of those as well, yeah. And basically, they send this text to your phone. The alarm goes off, fine, but guess what? If you don't acknowledge the alarm going off on your phone, they will cut off the entire usage of your phone.
No.
I kid you not.
Lord.
I kid you not. And this is why I'm calling this the shadow of Saturn. Yeah. When we talk about Aquarius, everyone talks about the utopia. Yeah, oh, great for humanity. Yeah, there is that element, but there's always a shadow to every sign.
Exactly.
Part of the shadow of Aquarius is using technology to control others, or elites controlling others. Now, isn't that remarkable that you've heard that this is happening in the UK? So I'm just going to say it again. There's an alarm thing, which is for earthquakes and tsunamis, which we've had tons of in our history. Not. Yeah. And if you do not reply to this text alert, they will cut off your phone. Dead. Yeah. A lot of us have just completely unsubscribed, you know, changed the settings, but I wanted to just read on what the energy is around that before we move to the next question. Bit of a shocker, eh?
Right. And Simpson says in New Zealand they have the alarms all the time, but no one gets cut off. This is another dimension. And
in New Zealand, it would make sense, isn't it? Because there are threats
because
of
they have earthquakes. They're called shaky isles. Makes total sense.
Right, and they're on the ring of fire. That makes much more sense. But the same for the UK. And then if you don't respond, they're going to cut off your phone. This is just ridiculous. Governments, tech. So if anyone's not seen it yet, check out my Saturn accountability on my playlist where I talk precisely about this sort of incursion and infringement. What's going on?
I can go if you like, because my cards are quite clear here.
Go for it.
I don't think it'll happen as such. Ooh. There's the Strength card, the Star card to kick off, followed by the King of Swords and the King of Wands. To do that to any nation, because you're cutting off people who need their phone to contact children or who are seriously ill or have emergencies to deal with, it's a bridge too far. If they push this, it won't be able to go ahead legally as a repercussion. It's just too stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't cut a nation off from its phone. I mean, even repressive states can't do that.
I know, it's just extraordinary when you think
about it. You could be sure there'd be no Russian mobiles or Chinese mobiles or anything. So I think it's not going to happen.
Fingers crossed. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, at the very center of it, the 10 of Swords, and you can see the look on their faces. They are not happy with this, okay? It's like just
major betrayal.
Yeah, just kill me now, okay? So going into it, we have again government, and this is causing judgment from the people. They're like, mummify these turkeys. We are not having this. Okay. Again, so the challenge is the people are really unhappy with it, what's going on, because they say it's delusional. What has happened to the government?
Yes.
They've lost their minds. They're all crazy. So again, this is 3 out of 5 major arcana again.
Mm.
Yeah.
What did you get, Hoagie?
Oh, I think my cards are pretty damning. Yeah. So first card out, look at this. The Emperor. It's a power grab. It is a naked power grab.
Yeah.
We all know, I mean, look, there are some virtues to the Emperor, but this can speak about what authoritarianism, which of course we see on the rise everywhere, patriarchy, whatever. This can definitely talk about the government. Wait a minute, there's a cat mewing outside. Wait, digression.
It's
Forgive me.
Animal Day. Yeah.
Digression. A cat turned up on my door the other day.
I saw that.
Did you see that? And it sounds like
outside your door.
Yeah, the strangled meow of that cat. Oh my God, I might have to check. Did you see it had a flashing light thing on it? I just heard it going like meow, meow. Anyway, sorry. Literally, I just heard it. The government hopefully will have to walk away from this. But you know what this is as well? This is obviously the public. People, if people comply with this, they are absolute fools, because this thing that they've tried, again, would make even most dictatorial nations hesitate. Yeah? Like, you don't reply to a text and we're cutting off your phone forever. What if you've been run over by a bus? Or it's just ludicrous. Anyway. 2 of Swords, government at a crossroads. But this is also people as well at crossroads. Will I respond to the text? Basically, there's this TikTok, 45-second TikTok that's gone viral, where you got this British guy who basically gives the sample from Sky News, and then he shows everyone how to disable the emergency alert on your phone. He's like, not having that. Well, he used more colorful language than that. But look, there we are. So, but this is also the government as well. Even they are chancing it. But look, the card of delusion. Where have they pulled this out? I don't know what's going on there.
It's
ridiculous. Absolutely party cracker, bonkers. And then the final outcome, look, the devil card. Not good intentions at all. I'm sorry, trying to scare people into this with the threat of tsunamis and earthquakes, when most of the time, like, it makes the news when we have an earthquake because we get 2.1 on the Richter scale.
That's
and a falls off
once every 50 years. In the comments, Kim says in Canada we have emergency notifications and it keeps going off until you've read it, which is a different ball game. That you can see the logic in that. They want people to know that the roads are dangerous or this is happening. Please acknowledge.
Yeah.
I don't think
if you don't acknowledge, we're going to cut off your phone entirely. That is just
not going to happen.
Yeah. We'll have to see how that goes. Perfect. Okay, so we've done that, which was that was 4. Now we're on to 5. Where's 5? Here we are. Let's see. Now let's do some 1-card pulls on this, because I want to leave time at the end for Duck Larange and Boris. We have to talk about Boris, and those two guys need a bit of in-depth discussion. So this will be a 1-card pull. This is coming from Donna O'Brien. Is the Fed raising interest rates actually hurting more than it's helping? It seems Biden needs to handle price gouging and corporate corruption more than interest rates, in my opinion. Thank you. So let's do a 1-card pull on that. And as everyone knows, they've steeply increased the interest rates, which of course, when we read, I think last week, affecting people's mortgages. Do you remember? I can't remember who it was, but they had an extra $200.
Yes, that's right.
On their mortgage. So you can imagine what the variation is around the country.
Just awful.
So we'll do, Card jumped out. Okay, that'll be my card. Well, which way did that come out? Okay. Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, after 3. 1, 2, 3. It was that way. That was how it came out.
Conflict. Conflict.
Look at that.
Look at you two.
Wow. Okay, Lena, how do you interpret your card? Obviously conflict, but is there anything else you see on that in regards to the Fed?
Well, yes, in the sense that they do this to try and cool down the economy in inverted commas, but it only impacts normal people. So I think they've got to reinvent the economic wheel over this. They can't keep doing this, you know.
And Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
I think it's, it's hanging people up, and they want to see it overturned, I'm sure.
Yeah. And my card, I've got the Sun in reverse, which in many ways is like the opposite of enlightenment. Yeah. It's very
tired
worrisome.
Old economics, and they just have their standard go-tos.
Yeah. It's like the sledgehammer thing again. It's the sledgehammer thing, and it just affects ordinary people and their mortgages, takes too much money out of the economy, which is supposed to be cooling down a bit anyway. So yeah, not so great. Okay, are we ready for the next one? Yeah. Now this actually, we're flying in our esoteric aeroplane and we're going to Australia.
Oh, mate. I said, mate.
Down under.
I can translate.
So it's two people have asked this question, so I thought I have to put it in. So this is Nendra Rutherford and Wendy Clark have both asked about AUKUS. Now, Lena, you've spoken in detail about this, haven't you? But I thought let's do a one-card pull on what is this going on with this AUKUS thing. From what I understand, it's going to be it's going to take 25 years to come online.
Yes,
and by
this is about nuclear-powered submarines. The UK, the US, and Australia have done this three-way pact. They won't be on stream for 25 years. These long-term projects blow out time-wise and budget-wise. Everything about it's stupid. But the big problem from the Australian perspective is, where do you put the nuclear waste?
Yeah.
Hello.
It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. Are we ready? After 3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, what did I get?
Very interesting card.
Yeah,
Lena.
totally.
How do you interpret it?
I don't think it's cryptic. I think Australia's hostage to this stupid idea, this profoundly stupid idea, and needs to step forward through the gap in the swords and say, are you mad? We made a mistake. Let's all go home now.
Lady G.
Yeah, I think it's just saying we need more light on the subject. They need to wake up, hello, see the light. And maybe instead of nuclear stuff, maybe see if they can find harnessing the sun some way to do things.
Yeah, we've got sun for thousands of miles in every direction.
Well, for mine, I think that for me, this is quite a complex card to turn up here. And again, it makes me think about that, the Empress is all about expansion, fecundity and stuff like that. And what I find interesting is that the Empress is pregnant. Yeah. The Empress is always pregnant. And Lady G had got the Sun card, which has got a baby on it. Yeah. So when I put all 3 together, it's almost like they're trying to birth this Frankenstein nuclear child. Yeah. And
in 25 years' time.
Exactly. So when it does eventually pop out, it's going to be full term, everyone. Full term. Ready for
long gestation.
So when I think of the Empress and the Sun with the little boy there, and then your cards, Lena, the 8 of Swords, it's almost like, for me, this is almost, it's almost like this might be a bit of a breech birth in the sense
yes, exactly. Massively
they're going to
delayed.
try and deliver this thing, and it's not going to work. I have a feeling some way a few years down the
Yeah,
line.
I don't think it's going to happen either.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
of geopolitics and
Yes.
where geographically Australia is in relation to Asia, China, etc.
Mm,
I think events will outstrip things,
yeah,
and it's
I
just
agree.
not going to happen.
Did you have to say breech birth? Now, I did have a breech birth. My son wanted to come out butt first, and that's been his view of the world. Just
All right.
Sorry.
No.
But that, I just, you know, that was the hit I got. Sorry.
it's not
Yeah.
pretty. Okay.
And I think the Empress in this context is the fertility of stupid,
Yeah.
the expanding stupid.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, right. There we are. As you know, as I like to say on this show, save the worst for last. Yeah, save the worst for last. And we've got two stinkers, everyone. And I wanted to make sure we had enough time to talk about these people. So I'm calling this Saturn's virtue this time. So we've had Saturn's vice, with the government trying to do this ridiculous thing. This will be Saturn's virtue, which is about accountability. So as you guys know, who I've now christened Boris the Blonde Blancmange. Yeah,
that's perfect.
The Blonde Blancmange was in front of the select committee, being grilled over Partygate. Yeah, all of you guys know this. Everyone was in lockdown. People were dying, that no one could be seen, and FaceTimes and all that stuff. And as we know, Boris and all of his chums were partying. Yeah. So, and we'll get Shakespeare's opinion on this as well. So what have I written here? Get grilled by committee, allegedly deceiving Parliament over Partygate. The trolley, which is also, that's what Dominic Cummings calls him. He calls him the trolley, looked agitated, but basically tried to gaslight everyone in the room. So he basically said he didn't know, even though he stood in front of the nation and declared what the rules were. He literally said, "Oh, I was advised differently." And anyway. So if he's given a 10-day suspension, now they're going to give their verdict in the summer. Why on earth it takes that long to prosecute an absolute howling liar? I've got no idea. But anyway, if he gets a 10-day suspension, it could then go to a by-election of his seat, which is of Uxbridge and South Ruislip. If the people of Uxbridge and South Ruislip vote him out, then technically that is the end of the Blancmange's career. But we'll have to see. So the question is this the political end of the road for Boris, the Blonde Blancmange?
Blonde Blancmange. And I'll just remind everyone, because he's actually got quite an amazing brain, Boris. Emotional age of an 8-year-old, but the brain. He speaks 7 languages or something. And his family live all over Europe and always have. And when he backed Brexit, his father actually said, "I'm giving up my UK citizenship," because he had a French passport as well. So his father actually went to live in France because Boris was so appalling.
Oh, yeah. And when I'll tell you guys some funny stories. When I used to work in events once upon a time in my student days, to get money together, I worked for this company called Rocket Food, and it's still around. Does incredible food, and we'll go to all these venues. So I got to see a lot of the political elite perform. Yeah. And Boris was one of them. And what I will say is this is not an endorsement of him, but he is a very talented speaker, annoyingly so.
I know.
Annoyingly so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very gifted. He's very gifted, and he told this incredible story about entrepreneurship, and he was saying, "Oh, even a mother has been running this business from her basement. She's been getting in international clients, being paid hundreds of thousands of pounds, blah, blah, blah." And everyone was like, "Who is this woman?" And then he goes, "The Duchess of York." Yeah. Because what it was, she was in the news at the time for selling access to rich international people to Prince Andrew. And she was doing it from her basement. And you can imagine the whole room erupted with laughter.
Exactly.
Anyway,
No,
who's ready to go next?
I can, if you like. I've
moved
moved to the circus cards for obvious reasons, and they're crystal clear. It starts with the Justice card. This is the sword going into the forehead. It moves through, this is between now and the summer, I'd say, confusion and the high wire act while he still pretends everything's all right. And then the Judgment card.
Oh.
So when it's bookended like this, justice and judgment, you know, you'd have to say au revoir, wouldn't you?
Yeah, looks pretty damning. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, going into it, he's out in the cold. When it comes to being able to hold on to control and power in his life, trying to maintain some sort of a balance when it comes to energetically, but challenging is the light on the subject, and he is just being tied up now because of the things he's done. So yeah, it's not going to go well for him.
Interessante. Okay, I'll pull my cards and then we'll see what Shakespeare has to say about the mob.
Please.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So if we look here, these cards are really quite declamatory, except the last one is quite interesting. Here we are, Ace of Swords, Swords of Truth. So this was literally, you know, the mop, the trolley, you know, the blonde blancmange in front of the select committee, having to face the truth. Now, what was extraordinary was this. And he was like, no, these were work events, and I thought they were a work event. And in front of him, under the table, but in front of Boris, is a big flat screen of him holding a glass up like this.
Yeah.
Full of booze, with people's faces pixelated, and he's saying, I think it was a work event. I mean, it's just extraordinary. It's just extraordinary. So this is him getting skewered on the Sword of Truth. Yeah, they really roasted him. Look at the obstacle position for Boris. Oh dear, look, it's the sun. The sun is back. But look, this is him not wanting the illumination of the situation. Yeah. This goes to show it is nakedly obvious for all to see. Remember, the baby's naked. Yeah. This is bald, naked truth. Yeah. But look who's in the middle. Yeah. The devil. Yeah, back again. This really is talking about Boris, his toxicity, his lies, his shenanigans. I mean, literally, he could teach the devil new tricks. When he's up to stuff, the devil is taking notes and going, wow, I never thought of that. Yeah. But I think this is talking about Boris's future. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here we've got the King of Wands, which of course is also known as a passionate orator. We know he's going to be exactly, and he is. We can't take that from Boris. This is part of the reason why he's been able to survive for so long, because he just has, it's a gift. Yeah, he can speak, and I've seen him speak many times, and I can attest to it myself. So this is him, the passionate speaker, just raking it in on the tours. Yeah, I think he gets a million in each speech. Yeah, so this is him post politics, I hope, and him kind of sailing off. Oh, there you go, sailing off into the distance, maybe hopefully living an inconsequential life of memoirs, speeches, huff and puff, and hopefully never coming back to politics again.
Yeah, and he'll be in demand on the speaking tours because he is a genius speaker.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he will. He can even turn his vices into juicy tidbits. Do you know what I mean? You know, I mean, I wouldn't turn it down. I mean, I just don't want him in politics anymore. Yeah. Anyway, shall we see what Shakespeare has to say about politics?
Please.
And then we'll be on Duck L'Orange. So whose turn is it this week? Lena, I think it's you again.
No, I think it's Lady G.
Lady G. All right, I'm closing my eyes. So you know the procedure, Lady G. Tell me when to stop when you feel it's right.
Stop.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
Look at this. Okay, this has come from Measure for Measure. I don't know if I've read this one before. It says, "Oh, faithless coward, oh, dishonest wretch, wilt thou be made a man out of my vice?" Oh, oh, the bard.
Totally tailored for the man.
I'll read that again. "Oh, faithless coward, oh, dishonest wretch, wilt thou be made a man out of my vice?" Well, I think that just sums it up, really, isn't it? He is a dishonest wretch. I'm sorry. Talented one, but still. Well, the bard has spoken. Okay, as they say, or as we say here, leave the worst for last. So, of course, we need to talk about Duck L'Orange, yeah? The Yeti. There's one almost runs out of adjectives to describe this entity, yeah? Anyway, so we all know he's been throwing around his threats, hasn't he? So let's just catch up on where we are in terms of the Richter scale of horror with Duck L'Orange. So Duck L'Orange, after posting a picture of him with a baseball bat next to the prosecutor Alvin Bragg threatening, then he said afterwards there's going to be death and destruction if he's persecuted. Yeah. And this question is coming from Judy, Sharon, Sister Sheba, Katie Schmidt, and the great 23, I think that might be. So what I want to ask is, what is going on in Donald's world, and who will indict first, Fanny Willis or Alvin Bragg? So that's a separate one. Let's do the bit first of what's going on in Donald's world. And as you're shuffling, ladies, I've got a little theory. Yeah? What little theory? Now, as you know, Squeaky Pants said, "I'm going to be arrested." Yeah, I'm going to be arrested on Tuesday. Now, this is what I think may have happened. Okay, go with me here. I think what's happened here is a double bluff. I think potentially, this is a bit tenuous, but potentially Alvin Bragg may be aware that there are moles within his department, because we've got to remember Duck L'Orange has support from, in all sorts of nooks and crannies. Yeah. When you're spawn of the devil, there's always someone that's gonna, worship. So I think he may have falsely put out that Trump was going to be arrested to test to see who those potential moles were.
I agree. I totally agree.
And having that then be Duck L'Orange obviously go out and basically cook his own goose by saying, "I'm going to be arrested." Yeah. In a way, it's kind of flushed the partridges off the nest, so to speak. And I think what was then the action would be then to deliberately not arrest Duck L'Orange, to A, embarrass him, but B, to see if he could muster any kind of crowd, which ended up being a damp squib. So now the power is back with the New York DA rather than Duck L'Orange. Is that too elaborate, do you think?
No, I don't. And also, just before we get into this too, the Waco rally, which is obviously going to attract, the heartland. Does anyone know numbers? I couldn't find any numbers this morning. So if anyone in the chat has any idea how many turned up for Waco. Because they'd go anyway. It'd be like the motorcycle rally in Sturgis or whatever it was. It would be an outing for gun-toting knuckle draggers, right? So I can see that pulling some people for sure. But New York, they didn't turn up.
No. And Trump is just the emperor of vulgarity. The whole wake. Anyway. We all know what he is. We all know what he is. So first part, what's going on in Donald's world? And then we'll look at who will potentially indict first. But what's going on in Duck Larange's world?
Yeah, inside that one. Okay.
God, wasn't that Shakespeare bang on?
It was Bliss, wasn't it?
He always gets it right.
Yes. Just back to the Waco business. They were preparing for 15,000. So I'm interested if they get those numbers. Do you want me to kick off this one? What's going on in Duck Larange's world? Here he is. He always turns up as the emperor for me. Always. Yeah. He's still doing the tightrope act. Three of Pentacles, it's always about the money and who can he get some more money from and how quickly, and he doesn't care where it comes from. But underneath, bit of a tumble because his numbers aren't marvelous. Bit of a tumble here. And he's trying to keep all the machetes in the air simultaneously, because that's him.
So the act maybe doesn't have quite the flash and panache it once did.
No.
What do you have?
Well, going into it, he's trying to figure out his future moves, how to, waiting for the ship to come in. But as far as contracts and things, everything's being eaten away. He's got no play anymore. And when it comes to his path that he's done, his choices, people are waking up to his abuses now. So he's being, again, the emperor with no clothes. When it comes to his, fulfillment of everything in his life, we have the documents coming in. And so that is now causing for him a divergent path. There go the fulfillment of his life. The challenge is he's really unhappy with what's coming down. So he continues to make lies, try to make it sound good on the surface, but we know underneath of it is the mud that's coming. And the clarification is America, our laws and the American people, the community are looking deeper. And all of this stuff is going to come out about Rico and all of the things he's done. So yeah, he's done for basically.
Right. Well, with my cards, and then we'll quickly squeeze in to see who might potentially charge first. So here we are. Here's Duck Larange. Yeah. Trying to sit there, trying to pretend he's all satisfied and happy with the situation. Isn't it interesting? He was just squealing, I'm going to be arrested. And apparently all of his team are saying, yeah, he planned that. That was meant to be. He's all good about it. Oh God. I mean, these people, I could so absolutely curse and swear, but here he is, the smug merchant. Yeah. The smug merchant there. But look, in his obstacle position, oh dear. We all know when you get the wheel of fortune in the obstacle position or upside down, yeah, sketchy. Yeah. He is in a sketchy time frame where essentially he's no longer in control of the narrative. That's what I would say. He's trying his best, but it's not quite working out. Here he is. Look, Two of Pentacles. There always have to be a Pentacles in there somewhere. Juggling, trying to manipulate the situation. Yeah. And trying to come up with fresh, fertile, new ideas. Remember what I'm saying? Repeat after me. His gift is grift. Yeah. There he is, juggling, and he's like, what new idea can I come up with? And he's like, oh damn, that last little grift of mine only raised $1 million. We wouldn't sniff at $1 million, obviously, but for him, that's not big on the Richter scale of his money raising. So he's gonna have to come out with a new seductive message. Yeah, it's got to come out. It's the false knight again. He needs to kind of reinvent his message, reinvigorate himself, because I don't know, I feel like his act is a little bit of a flat tire and it's just going down slowly. The wheel hasn't come off yet, but it's kind of like a slow puncture. But he's going to keep going. Yeah, he's going to keep grifting. So, but I don't think he's happy. Okay, we've got a few little, well, we've got about, let's do a 1 card pull each and for each question. So who will indict first? So let's look at Fanny Willis. Will she be first? And we'll do 1 card pull, and then we'll look at Bragg, 1 card pull.
Okay, so this is Fanny Willis.
Fanny Willis. Let's see what she gets. Anyway, I'm not even going to say, you know me, I'm tired of all the titillation. Yeah, I want to see people in orange jumpsuits. Okay, Fanny Willis. All right, have we picked?
Yeah.
All right, after 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
Oh, King of Wands, Justice, do.
Very
okay,
interesting.
4 of Wands.
How do you interpret yours?
And this is for Fanny. So I'm thinking probably second behind Bragg, because this is more stable. It's a stronger case. At the end of the day, the Bragg case is popcorn, really.
I see what you mean.
It's symbolic, and this is more substantial. So that's my vibe on that. What about
slower
you?
but more solid?
I agree with you, because I've got the king. He's got the power. Bragg's got the power to do it first.
Ah, interesting. And here, so Bragg's got the power to do it first, and I've got the major arcana here, Justice. So it looks like, yes, maybe Bragg gets in there first, but maybe it's Fanny that has the heft. Yeah, that has the heft.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's pull then on, that was pulling on Fanny Willis. Let's see if the cards confirm for Bragg being ahead. So we'll shuffle again and we'll do 1 card pull, and then we'll have to bring the show to a close. And there's over 1,200 of you who've joined us this evening as well. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying the content, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes.
Okay.
And thank you for all the birthday wishes. Thank you.
Oh, yes, of course. Happy birthday as well. Yeah.
There.
Let's see. Okay. Alvin Bragg. Okay. Are we ready?
I think we all agree, Jack Smith, people are asking, I think it's a bigger, more complicated.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Maybe next week. Yeah, because there's more bells and whistles on that one. All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Oh, this is a bit piquant, isn't it?
Isn't it?
I wasn't expecting that. Lena, how do you interpret your card?
I'm not sure. You know, I'm really not. For those watching, this is the 5 of Cups. The question was about Bragg going first. This could be because, I think I get it. 3 cards are up, 2 cards, 3 cups are up, 2 cups are down. It could be, once he goes first, it'll be a bit of a bruise for the Yeti, but not fatal in and of itself. I think,
of course.
because you can move on from the 5 of Cups, even if it's not fun.
And I got Fanny's got the power. So I think he may go first, but she's got the ultimate power. And here's your kitty cat.
Yeah. And isn't it interesting, because in your first pull, you got the king, wasn't it the King of Wands? Wasn't it?
Wands, and now I have the Queen of Wands.
And now Fanny Willis has turned up.
Yeah.
But look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what, folks? This is what I'm going to say. Now, you remember, I've been banging on about this ad nauseum, and I know you guys are tired of it, but I'm going to say it again. Any indictments, they need to happen either on or before the eclipses that happen on the 20th of April, 2023, to capture that energy as the theme for the rest of the year. What my card is suggesting, they can't lose sight of the ball. It's almost like there's so many cases going on. It's like it's getting discombobulated. It's almost like Trump is able to, by his own Trumpiness and dark Machiavellian powers, almost overwhelm, like a digression, the life cycle of the cicada. Yeah, stay with me here. The cicada, as we know, sings every summer, but many people don't know it has a 17-year gestation lifespan period. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
What? Yeah, it takes 17 years for one cicada to actually reach maturity. So every cicada that sings is already 17 years old.
Wow.
But the point is cicadas are terrible flyers. They're clumsy flyers. Yeah, they're easily caught and eaten. Yeah, and in a way, Duck L'Orange is like a clumsy flyer. Yeah. His schemes in many ways are obvious. However, what the cicadas do, their survival mechanism, is to overwhelm their predators. And then you see these birds and fish, and everyone has a go at the cicadas. And then after a few hours, they are knackered. They're absolutely exhausted because they've eaten so much. It's like they get bloat. And I think Duck L'Orange, in a way, is almost trying to cause legal constipation for everyone.
Yeah, because that is how he works. Just keep it going, appeal everything on and on and on.
Yeah, so he's gonna do his usual stuff. I hope it's not successful, but the card turned up.
Yeah. And Fani Willis is under threat because Georgia's passed some sort of bill which will mean she could be sacked, basically.
Yeah, because every card comes up for a reason. Mishigas, something's going on here, so hopefully things will work out. Can you believe it? The time has gone. We've already gone over already. So I want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us. I hope you found that interesting. Please let us know your views and stuff like that in the comments below. Lena, thanks so much, of course, for joining us your Australia morning and giving, your wonderful insights and knowledge. And of course, Lady G, fabulous to see you. Almost kind of Phoenix-like. You know what I'm thinking? I'm getting Cleopatra vibes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cleopatra. You see my feathers here? Yes, my barge is out back.
So I just wanted to check in. Lady G, are you with us next week? Because I understand that the throat thing might be happening, or maybe not. Or how are you doing?
My surgery will be Thursday, so I'm going to try. Whether I'll be able to speak very much or not, we'll see. But I will try to make an appearance and be here.
But at the same time, put your health first. Yes, your health first.
Absolutely. If you're instructed to rest the throat,
then we will. So
anyway, we'll see. But I'm going to make every effort to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, thank you everyone for joining us and for the donations and the comments and stuff like that. I hope you found that interesting. We've covered a lot. I wanted to do Gwyneth Paltrow. Someone wanted to ask about Gwyneth Paltrow, the skiing crash thing, but we will do that next week. But what I will say is she is forever in my heart, regardless of what people think about her, for selling that that thing, which was, this candle smells like my vagina. I just felt that was do you know about the candle?
No, I'm not sure I want to know about Gwyneth's candle.
Maybe we'll discuss that another time. But for me, that was marketing genius, and it sold out in a flash. Anyway, we will leave it there, and we will see you all next week. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, and bye-bye for now.
Thanks so much. Ciao.